Okay. Hello, my name is Boom. Okay, today's video is called "What Does the Bible Say About Victoria Day?" Now, if you wonder what Victoria Day is, Victoria Day is a holiday in Canada. I live in the U.S., so I live in the United States. So why I'm talking about it, so you can see, is why I'm talking about a Canadian holiday now. Well, it's probably because I live pretty close. Well, it's probably because I do live pretty close to Canada. I live in the U.S., United States of America. Well, Canada's a little farther than me in Mexico, though. I live in California. So, and it's in the opposite direction of Mexico as well. It's north. So, I never been to Canada. And I know I said never been to Mexico, no, but I never been to Canada either. So, yeah, yeah. Oh, of course, I wouldn't want to live in Mexico. Look, gets Mexico's poor, and that's why. But Canada, well, it gets pretty cold in Canada. That's why. That's the reason why I don't want to live there. And plus I know that Canada has free healthcare, but I'm not really care. I don't really care about that, you know. And plus here in the U.S., I get, you know, I have Medi-Cal to pay for my healthcare here in the U.S. anyway. So yeah, I don't even pay for my healthcare. Medi-Cal does for me. So to me, I really don't. So to me, you know, that's what I have here. That's what I have, in the U.S. and in California. But I don't know very much about Canada because I know. Yeah, well, I know that Anthony lives there, but I don't know. He thinks, but yeah, he lives in Canada, but he thinks Canada is well wicked. But I don't know. Hmm. I don't know. But Canada does have. I bet. If I do. I do bet Canada does have friendly people and stuff. Hmm. You know. I'm. And I know there's Canadians here in the U.S. You know, I and the maple leaf on the maple flag. I I put maple syrup on sometimes on my pancakes of waffles and sometimes pancake and sausage. Sometimes if I eat it, but So yes, I do like maple syrup. First of all, yeah, I don't know why Anthony thinks that Canada doesn't have to do with communism anyway. First of all, Canada is to me, it looks like a free democratic country, just like the U.S. You know, way more free than China. I don't know if it's more free than the U.S. because I never been there. But I do believe, and yes, I do believe that Canada's pulp is also way more free than Russia as well. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna visit Canada anytime soon, and because I'm still busy with stuff here in the U.S. But maybe in a few years in the future, if you want me to visit Canada in a few years, I might. But I might visit both the south and the north side of Canada. You know, sometime in the future, but and I know the south side does have more people than the north because it gets pretty cold in the north side of Canada. That's why. But Canada's not as cold as Russia. I learned that Russia's the coldest country in the world. Yeah, not Canada. But Canada is still pretty cold though. So what is so yeah, when is Victoria Day in Canada? So Victoria Day, and I don't know how to say this in French, but so this is how to say this is in French. Let me take a look it up. Because I don't speak French. And I also have it in other languages as well, but this is in French. And I don't speak French. Oh yeah, I know Quebec. Yeah, so people in Quebec, Canada, yeah, in the province of Quebec, they speak French. Now, I know that my home city, Ontario, is named after a province of Canada. Ontario, but it's Ontario, California that I live in. Because I live in Ontario, California. You know, and it's a city of Ontario in California. You know, yeah. I don't know I don't know what the people. I don't know who. I don't know what Ontario, Canada is like. So, because I live in Ontario, California. So here it is. Here it is in French.
Fête de la Reine.
Okay, Fête de la Reine. So Fête de la Reine is how to say Victoria Day in French. I just seen it right here, see? So, but if you want to look, if you want to know what's it called in some other languages, like Spanish, here it is. It's Dia de la Victoria in Spanish.
Día de la Victoria.
And then it's just easy, but now if you want to know what's it called in Mandarin,
维多利亚日
Okay, we do re is so that's how to say Victoria Day in Mandarin. I'm probably not saying the tones right, but I'm probably not saying it correctly, but I try to say the best I can. I do have it in both simplified and traditional Chinese characters. Okay? So okay, so that's you reading it. So it's a federal. So this holiday right here, it's called Victoria Day. It's a federal Canadian New Year holiday. On a Monday before May 25th in each year. Victoria Day is Canada's oldest non-religious holiday It marks the birth of Queen Victoria. Okay, yeah, she was born in 1837 and died in 1901, following the death of Queen Victoria. Okay, so May 24th was decreed as an Empire Day across the British Empire. Today, Canada is the only country who still has the holiday on the day. History on the Victoria Day in Canada. So Queen Victoria, she was born on May 24th in 1819 and died on January 22nd in 1901. And she was the ruler of the United Kingdom and the British Empire from June 20th, 1837 until her death of 1901. Okay, Victoria reigned for 63 years and 7 months. Okay, recorded for a British monarch that was only beaten in September 2015 by Queen Elizabeth II. Well, she was never actually visited Canada. Queen Victoria grew up knowing a lot about Canada. Her father, the Duke of Kent, Prince Edward, fourth son of King George III, had nearly 10 years in Quebec City and Halifax. So did you know? So, despite of the most famous British monarchs at birth, Victoria was the fifth in the line that's successful for the British crown behind the four eldest sons of George III, including these uncles of their father, Edward. For many Canadians, Victoria Day marks an official beginning of summer, with many people opening the summer cabins. It is a popular holiday. It is the first holiday that takes place in the warmer summer months. In Quebec, National Patriots Day, okay, I think it's the French again,
Journée nationale des patriotes.
So Journée Nationale des Patriotes. Okay, so that's how to say National Patriots Day in French. Yeah, I had to look at Google Translate because, I don't speak French. So let's keep reading. What's the commemoration of Lower Canada Rebellion of 1837? This will be on the same day as Victoria Day. Well, Victoria Day is a holiday for all federal employees across Canada. It is not paid as traditional day of New Brunswick under the States of District Act. Nova Scotia is the only province of territory. The day is a holiday, though the employers will give staff the day off. The schools are closed. The holiday is called May 24 in some parts of Canada. The first bolt the day, and which day offers May 24th. In Canadian slang, in case of 24 beers, true for a drink a popular long weekend. Well, first of all, I don't drink alcohol, and that's what beer is. But let's keep reading. It always falls on Monday, leading on a long weekend, always be known as May Long and May Run. Victoria Day, all city, state, and government offers are closed. Schools, post offices, banks, libraries are also closed. Public transport will run on a reduced holiday schedule. Where's the test? We no knowledge of Victoria Day. Yeah, so that's the quiz. So let's keep reading about this. Now we have to read more about this site. So why do you celebrate Victoria Day and exercise and frustration? Okay. So Victoria Day is sound like a straightforward holiday. You think that you would have a relatively straightforward history, but at least what I thought when I decided about the post about Victoria Day, I was wrong this entire week, and as an exercise of frustration. But this is actually noble. A good historian can never assume the particular subject is going to be a no-brainer, since sometimes such questions should have most encompassing answers, and sometimes if you're a historian, if you ask the right questions, all you get is a week of object chaos, because that's how history works. It's messy, complicated, and sometimes it answers just there. But today is a blog post. When we will talk about history about Victoria Day, I also have to talk about the realities of history. We're doing history. The problem with sources. The biggest problem we encountered this week is it isn't a very much research of the subject of Victoria Day. Sounds crazy, but trust me in this. I know this article coming out of Rainbow Blog and Matthews Holiday new collection of celebrating Canada, but that's only bringing it published in December. I was out of luck. That was too brief mentions of Victoria Day. I was referred to below the most part of the only sources I could, besides of the Canadian Encyclopedia, Mystery of Heritage, and the Canadian Heritage of Trust, and they all cite each other, and to make things worse, and they all website that all contract each other and a number of important details. I try to make a primary source of this information, but this sense is limited to largely what's available online. I haven't found much either. What's so complicated? The big problem is there's no set definition of Victoria Day. Yes, it's about Queen Victoria, but it's all about military parades, drinking, panicking, and spring. In British Empire, 3 different people. What is point of Victoria Day is, and you'll get different answers. And what is it?
Don't be pushing me, okay?
Playing computer, Mom.
I'm talking to somebody.
No, I'm playing computer.
Okay, don't push me, okay? You're not playing, okay?
Yes, I am playing computer. Mom, I am looking for a job too, okay? I'm just doing some computer, okay? I'll do that too. Just me read stuff. She's trying to disturb me in the middle of my video, and now I have to go back. Now I don't know where I left off on this because my mom interrupted me. Well, I'll just start over because I got lost from her anyway. So let's just start over. The big problem is the no set definition of Victoria Day is yes, it's about Victoria, but it's all about military parades, drinking, panicking, and spring, and British Empire, and the British Empire. There's asked 3 different people as point of Victoria Day is, and you'll get 4 different answers. In Montreal, where I grew up, I met the official start of spring, and finally you plant flowers in your garden, not having them dying of frost. Everyone in my neighborhood is spent 24th a local nursery, but in Ontario, many call it May 2-4, and in the weekend of going camping with friends opening on the college and drinking beer, and 2-4 around the campfire in Victoria. It's called Victoria Day, and a massive parade through downtown core of marching bands, floats, and military marches. And here in Richmond, and here May long weekend, it's nice. Many people use to spend time with family. Well, you start somewhere. And origins of Victoria Day can be found public celebration of sovereign's birth in England. And it's entirely clear when it began, since all the sources have been basically contradict each other, but it's popular. It's the start of of King George III. Okay, sorry, King George III during the 1780s. The celebration actually consisted of dropping a color and instead of military parade, where incidents of colors, flags, and this of our latest custom continues to stage here. Queen Elizabeth attends horse guards and the Queen's birthday parade. It's also televised as a nationality in the UK. Get your pitchforks. Alright, so in Canada, the celebration of Sovereign's birthday was also dated for the annual mastering of logo militia, whereas the men involved in militia rest themselves the expression of training. Clicking in ink will take to a funny sketch muster. To notice the pitchforks, one of the expansion, where dream was finished, and men dispersed, often to play games like horseshoes, just plain fighting, and there may or may not have been alcohol involved, but because nothing says because like firearms and booze. This all changed in 1845 when Sovereign's birthday was declared a public holiday and now is known as the Queen's birthday in honor of Queen Victoria. And here's the things that I really murky. There are no secondary sources to cover this period, and when primary sources available are limited. While this topic is covered by online sources, I mentioned earlier I don't provide any footnotes or sources. I had no way of verifying whether the information was accurate. For example, my eventual apartment, a Minnesota University official holiday. Yeah, the Queen of Canada. Okay, Gori Davesi. Okay, sorry, Davoli, the Canadian Royal Heritage Trust. Reason why the Sovereign's birthday became a holiday due to Canada's close relationship with Victoria, with Queen Victoria. Her father was served military here, and she would eventually send her sons and her $1 to live and work in some capacity. While the holiday was now for civilians, it was no a minor occasion. This happens in many holidays, but I'm not sure what Family Day is BC for, other than sleeping in and waffles. Impolite Indians, how rude. According to historian Cornelian Harris. Waiting for Canadian Encyclopedia to change study in the 1840s. I've taken Canadian history class. If you were Upper and Lower Canada rebellions happened in 1897, 1898, where it should be. Both rebellions of their origins of political disputes of Lower Canada, Quebec, of the most of the group factors between English and French Quebecers. I'm not going to go too much detail here, but I'm going to sense Quebecia's nationalism and establishment of the group of the descendants of less patriots who believe in the Quebec have no place of British Empire and resented political economic dominance of the English. While neither rebellion succeed, distance between the English and French Canadians remain high, and ultimately culminating of the burning of the Parliament building at Montreal in 1849. Yeah, let's go big or go home. Going back to Gary Toffoli, he claims that Toronto, under the influence of British America League, the collection was Ontario conservatives put a mass observation of Queen's birthday, demonstrating of Canadian pride in their country and their Queen. The style celebration spread across country quickly thereafter. Whatever the reasoning, one thing is clear: the popularity of Queen's birthday, and now its names were referred of, was growing. The lithograph on the right depicts one such example. The gathering of 5,000 people at the Government House in Toronto in 1844 to give cheers to their queen. And this is when a large gap, and there's no subject of information during the secondary sources. Primary sources of they was written during the 1850s, 1860s, 1870s. The remarks written about the public they written in their book Revivals of Religion, nation of late 19th century, a small town in Ontario. She notes that the newspaper was 1800 1990s of large community celebration of 1860s, 1870s, but it's for articles of question attorneys and get stuff up, and I guess that is good as mine is the point. The more things change. But the marks does not provide information of Special Victoria Day in Sultan, Ontario during the 1880s and 1890s. In general, few people there's a wide celebration for the holiday, like people today that just did their own thing. Those who could afford it away on vacation. Those who could afford it, a 19th century equivalent of the staycation, Panakin games in neighborhood parks, and state that was Queen's birthday was more prevalent in the bulk of population and working class. Victoria Day was a public holidays, was rare as reprieve, and from the day of the grind of work. Who doesn't love chasing greased pigs? While some communities did put up the large-scale celebrations like we see today on Canada Day, these are mostly posing for the business associations, either raise money or our community profile. The exception of these two have celebrations organized by working class fire companies, arranged sport competitions, traditional games, and three-legged races, potatoes, sack races, and my favorite, chasing greased pigs, church processions, fireworks, and dances. But these are not celebrations where people are encouraged to put aside their differences and the United Citizens of the British Empire. If anything, they are visible reminders of vision between people or along the lines of social class and gender. Okay, all day is stay is at rest. The subject of Queen Victoria's birthday celebration began in 1896. Queen Victoria had been appointed a monarch for 59 years. So it's like today is majority of Queen population knows of British monarch a Queen's birthday in the day of 50 years. Knowing everyone that Victoria was approaching the end of her life. There's still a new day being the sovereign's birthday. So it's the time of the start of the calls to make a Queen's birthday of the Parliament of public holiday to see to try the defense because of the someone in England died. My example is to come from the Canadian magazine which argued that but the things of marking again here, the 1890s strange period in Canadian history, where Canadians were heavily have the idea of the British Empire. Insert Star Wars joke here. The British Empire was experiencing something renaissance after decades of denying fortunes or innocence of the Canadian experience of the indigenous people of Africa, and after the British and European powers of the colonized the dark continent, Canada would its fight overseas war in Africa, participating in Boer wars. Imperial Canada. Back in Canada, the British Empire was all in rage. But we obviously this Queen's birthday after 1897, most of the calls of the Parliament holiday had more to do with the day of the celebrate of the British Empire than the celebrate Queen Victoria. In this instance, Canadian magazine should make a Queen's birthday Parliament holiday and rename Victoria Day in honor because Yeah, okay, it's we are in a community tradition of Canada of the stage, the explanation of advantages and national advantages of the Downing Street locally very impact the nation will responsible government and also exists for its own affairs, accompanying relation of the allied mother country and then that of the colony, and enjoying the advantages of education of as the 19th century can give. As today is we can part of the national life is quickly missed unless perseverance let us have Victoria Day. Okay, that's what it says. Is the Queen's birthday or Empire Day? The connection between Queen's birthday and British Empire grew upon the stronger of Queen Victoria's son Edward VII declared it before the Queen's birthday of the Empire Day because let's make it confusing. Empire Day was Queen in 1898. Columbia General Minister's wife in Holland, Ontario. And so Canada's dual loyalty to both British Empire to Canada. Students of Edmonton therefore visits parades, the speeches, and participated of British competitions, all the theme of the British Empire. Empire Day would be officially adopted in 1904 although it took place before Victoria Day, although too often unconflated. And one example of article on Victoria Day was published in the Canadian Courier Courier in 1907. So this right here, for 60 years we kept Queen's birthday on each year found long possession of interpret Kings but strong and steadfast. The region of British history saw Canada emerge from misgovernment, rebellion, and significance of national history and prosperity placed under in the proud position of premier colony. This is the satisfaction of all British subjects. A day which saw the exit city of Victoria is the key kept vested of fashion as Victoria Day. Okay, while it's all dressed up in a flowery language, it is important to remember that imperialism is in something. It is the glorious celebratory. Victorian era in Canada was most violent terms of colonialism. Then, as people across the country driven off their lands, like to vividly assimilated, starved, and killed in the name of salvation and progress. The Canadian nation is not a jagged part of Canadian history, but it is one of the we need. Remember, the cause legacy colonialism. It is like a colonialism in Canada today. Okay. So Queen's birthday to Victoria Day. Okay, it would take it to 901 and the death of Queen Victoria, that is Queen's birthday, was named as Victoria Day, established as a permanent holiday, Empire Day, Commonwealth Day in 1958, and continued to be celebrated on the day, Good Victoria Day, until 1983. And after that day, this was moved into the second Monday of March, so to be consistent of the Commonwealth countries, at the point of step existing for most Canadians. So yes, I know, and yes, it's cold in Canada. And then finally, because it may get complicated for many Canadians, Victoria Day, it starts beginning of spring, where I live in BC, spring and February, okay. And it's always me posting pictures of flowers on Instagram while the family friends of Montreal are still burnt under the snow. More, okay. In many parts in Canada, like Montreal, it's not hard to have the random snowstorm in May. But so many people wait until like last frost if you're an extra paranoid. But longer plant flowers, vegetables, and herbs. Herbs. And it's also fixed again. It's already in warm weather. It is since the recent phenomenon. Just listen to writer about this memories of Victoria Day. Where most bakes are firecrackers and picnics. The footprints of the white gown of first row up in the river. They are glanced at the 24th of the calendar. Even the far of the grown-up Canada recalls of the 24th and find careless rapture in these early days of the signs of the spring long ago. Sometimes it was a church festival, and although the trifle early for strawberries and ice cream, the glorious occasions were fireworks in the town park. On the village commons of the small stood entrance of the study counts of the study of fire rockets, and the study of the day was all too short. Okay. Reminding me, the language is hilarious. The connection between a holiday and the spring is pretty clear to see. The experience of when you're thinking Victoria Day was also a village celebration of the Indigenous city of Ontario Montreal branch. Okay, now more crickets. Once again, there are no records of what happened between the 1890s and 1950s regarding the celebration of Victoria Day, but we do know that the relation of Victoria Day is the sovereign's birth and the sovereign's birthday were intact. Victoria's son, Edward VII, celebrated Victoria Day and celebration of birthday, despite being born in November. Though his immediate successors moved it a few weeks when Queen Elizabeth took the throne in 1952. Victoria Day was once again official birthday of the monarch, and though she was born in April, one change that was made a day of the date that was moved to Monday before May 25th, assuring the holiday was a long weekend. Okay, decline Britishness. The issue between Victoria Day and the British Empire, however, became less important. Arcadura explain. Igar Tour explain the book. The Other Quiet Revolution, Identities in English Canada, 1945 to 71, and then discussing Victoria Day. He points to newspaper articles published in 1850s, published about the inequality of Victoria Day was pretty the connection of the Okay, discussing Victoria, the articles 1950s about the declining property of Victoria Day and its connection to the British Empire. In some cases, even the newspapers copied Victoria Day and the Empire Day. Ingartoria was used as evidence of the argument of the declining of Britishness of Canada. I'm not entirely convinced by the accusation, but it's highly anyone who really cared about the meaning behind Victoria Day. So where does this leave us? So it is a satisfying response of we celebrate Victoria Day because we have over 100 years. In 1912, magazine put it as an ancient custom Mars started established. And according to celebrations are a minish of traditions dating back 18th century. Ultimately, everyone knows celebrating Illinois of Victoria Day, and it's ultimately fine as Cyndi Lauper, and as it's put some girls just want to have fun. Yeah, some girls just want to have fun. Okay. Most importantly, the great example of shows of history never straightforward. There is no easy answers. Sometimes you can research until you're blue in the face until you start up nothing but a mess. Whether it's because an sources are lost in a fire, or interested in writing the topic because there just aren't any answers to questions, but even because the historians are only human. Because we have some massive research fail. Some time of the spend time we had because at the end of because you have read the pieces together. Do you have any experience about Victoria Day? Let me know in the comments below. Many thanks to the Claire Dale of Catherine Ulmer and Jessica Bailey, from Greg McKnight, Carolyn Grudget, Mikey, Tiss, and Lee Banding for helping making this. I have awesome friends. So extra strange enough, Victoria Day is end up as Bishops of Canadian history. And major disasters was born during Victoria Day Status Act. We call statistical success in May 24th, 1918. Over to right vote of the federal elections, May 24th, 1916. And then May 24th, 2000. It was not a bug of Auckland, Ontario, and most of you already are familiar with. The first disaster spoke happened on Victoria Day in 1881, and now is known as Canada's worst maritime disasters. But that's a strip sunny of one day, representing the double-decker steamboat Victoria was returning to the city in London. Ontario City several occasions of Thames River. Yes, it's actually called that near of Springbank Park of the Spring's birthday. Several sources report that steamboat was overloaded. Was severely overloaded by 800 passengers. Steamboat for 100 300 passengers. Again, accounts differ exact numbers. What happened was unclear, but the account essentially of the boat begins to rock. And of other indication cessation of rather joint motion, and instead being anyway alarmed. The ship was being overloaded and was running low on water and began to flood. Officials tried to encourage passengers to no avail. The crowd was searchlight aside, and each moment of vessel of decreasing about the water and lower deck. Tired of sunlight of the enemy routes were covered below few. Seen to be in danger can be well alarming. Opposite of Cove Bridge, the water was depth foot and stretched front side the boat, and the crowd surged again to the north, and the boat slowly falling moment of listing over that side. This time of the vessel almost over edge, and deck floor became evaluated cargo from the particular. All the ones about the dig give away with to really crash on account of the natural position to go great. As over the railings, the people tumbled of the hundreds along the deep water, and best of the upper deck, and supports a crashing down of the people below, and especially the subject of the victims of the becoming imprisoned. Dreadful watering tomb, the scene of the beggars section between the wreck and so on of the sea scores of human beings of the little bit of the rest of the ex-breeze, who were many stunned by the crash of the unconscious sank. The Victoria's victims, Triple Steens attending the airchurch disaster in New York Times in May 27th in 1881. The second disaster happened in May 26, 1896, in Victoria, BC. A streetcar brought with 1843 were crossing in Point Ellis Bridge, Bay Street, and Upper Harbor on their way to attend Queen's birthday celebrations when it crashed. In total, 35 people were killed, and only people were left on the side. The street and the car survived. Two amazing creatures as well. Photographs in this event check out the point of the Ellis Bridge disaster. Well, that was a long article, but the point is, but what's most important here, did Queen Victoria believe in Jesus? I think you have to learn about that. And you can let me know in the comments below if Queen Victoria did believe in Jesus Christ or not. Because I don't know that. Okay, I don't know if she's in heaven or hell, but because I don't know if she believed in Jesus or not. But you can let me know in the comments below if she did or not. Okay, that's just my answer about this holiday, because And if you celebrate Queen, if you celebrate Victoria Day, you can let me know in the comments below. But my answer is this on your comments below. My question is, did Queen Victoria believe in Jesus Christ or not? Because that's what I would like to know. Okay. On your comments below. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell you how to get saved according to the Bible. Anyway, because I believe the Bible. Anyway, so. The point of false religions are damn souls to hell. When you go to heaven and believe on Lord Jesus Christ, salvation is by faith alone, and the grace of Jesus Christ alone. Once you're saved by easily is the truth, meaning you can't lose your salvation. It's safe to say, but easy release and salvation is easy to do is believe in Jesus Christ for salvation. Alright, so on to our next video is what does the Bible say about the gap theory? And I'll talk about that next video. You can tell me anyway. You can tell me how God's birthday. If you celebrate Victoria Day, you can let me know how you celebrate it. Anyway. If you do, anyway. But anyway, I have to go right now. So thank you for watching this video. Be sure to bye.